Annual practice estimates in PCSE Online. Annual practice estimates of pensionable profit should be submitted via PCSE Online. It is important that the estimate is as accurate as possible to avoid large adjustments when end-of-year certificates are reconciled. Estimate forms need to be submitted annually before the deadline. This ensures that the pension contributions are correct for the next financial year. However, it's good practice to submit a revised estimate if you know that some of your GP's estimated income will have changed throughout the year. The PCSE Online estimate form pre-populates with the details of the active pension scheme members, and all you need to do is enter their estimated income and selected tier rate. In order to submit practice estimates or a salary change form, you will need the GPP practice estimates and salary change role in PCSE Online. Your GPP practice user management administrator can assign this role to you. In order to successfully complete an estimate form on behalf of your GP, you'll first need to make sure that the GP is aligned to your practice. When a GP joins, leaves, or changes their role at your practice, they'll need to log into their PCSE Online account and submit an employment change to PCSE. As soon as PCSE receive the employment change request from the GP, PCSE will send an email to the email address linked to that practice, alerting them that a GP has submitted an employment change request that requires the practice approval. It will then be down to the practice to approve or reject that change. We just ask that you log into your PCSE Online account, check the dates that the GP have provided are correct, and then either accept or reject the request. Please be aware that the GP can submit two different types of requests. They can either join your practice as a salaried GP or a principal GP, i.e. GP partner. If the request is for a salaried role, then all you'll need to do is approve the request, and then you'll be able to complete the pension joiner form in PCSE Online. If the GP in question has applied as a principal GP or has changed their status at your practice to a principal GP, i.e. GP partner, once the request has been approved by the practice, it will then be the responsibility of the Commissioner, i.e. the ICB, to start the contract change and then approve the request in PCSE Online. If the GP has submitted a request to join the practice as a principal, i.e. GP partner, the ICB will only see the request once it has been approved by the practice. Once the GP employment change request has been approved by both the practice and the ICB, this is when the practice can complete the joiner form in PCSE Online. At this point, PCSE will also contact NHS BSA to generate the prescriber number for the GP. For salaried GPs, the GP will be able to find their prescriber number within their PCSE Online account. This is the same for a GP principal, i.e. GP partner. However, PCSE will also email this information to the partner GP. Only once the GP joiner form has been completed in PCSE Online will your GP appear on the practice estimate form. When completing the practice estimate form, and you notice that your GP does not appear there, you'll need to check that the GP joiner has been correctly completed in PCSE Online. If you're having trouble locating your GP on the GP pension joiner form, it may be that the performer list employment change approval hasn't been completed. This could mean that either the GP hasn't submitted an employment change request, the practice haven't approved the request, or you're still waiting for the ICB to approve the request. It may be that you're trying to add a newly qualified GP to your pension joiner form. However, it's possible that the pension record has never been administrated through PCSE, and you'll need to provide us with the GP's SD number. You can do this by calling our customer contact centre. When you are ready to complete your practice estimate form, you'll first need to log into your PCSE Online account. Click GP Payments, then select GP Pensions, click Estimate, and then select Practice Estimate. I'm now going to show you a short video of us completing a practice estimate form in PCSE Online.
So practice estimate, what you will see now is that you have the option to select the 24-25 year, and what you will see, and some people have pointed out that there are some GPs that they would like to or expecting to see on their estimate who are not there, and we'll come back around that again just to make sure it's clear enough what we need to do if that does happen. But for your GPs, you, just like the NHS pensions form itself, then you have the different sections. So you have GP partners, you have salaried GPs, and then you have non-GP partners if you have any in your practice. So the form will populate with the GP details. So if we start with our first GP, then what we're looking at in terms of the key elements that you need to complete and the only columns that you need to really be concerned about will be a column that says estimated surgery pensionable income, and then it will be the tier rate income. So there is another column that you can add any other pensionable income into there, but as a practice manager, then it's not particularly expected that you would be privy to that information. So the important thing is that the tier rate that the GP feels is applicable to them for that year is the tier rate that you select, and the estimated income that is going to be earned at your practice. So let's just say Dr. Number 1, we're going to say 50,000, and I should have had the tier rate table at hand to check the correct brackets, but our GP might have, a lot of other roles, and they know that they need to be paying a tier or on the highest tier. Now, what you will notice when you go to the 24-25 estimate form is that the tier rates have changed again, or at least they have changed effective from the 1st of April 24. That was as a result of another consultation by Department of Health and Social Care. So you'll find the tier rate table in the NHS Pensions website. So your tier rate, then you select the appropriate option. So there's a reduced number of options now. So let's just say our GP is on 12.5. Doctor number 2, then again, it's just what's the estimated annual income for this doctor, what's the tier rate that we expect for them, and so on and so forth. So all you are doing is working your way down the form, populating with the estimated income for the practice and the tier rate. You work your way down all of those, and then we will go to the submit button. So let's just put some more figures in to here. And the form itself, as you've seen there, it only gives you the option of the tier rates that will exist for 24-25. So there isn't any way that you can put in a tier rate that the system wouldn't be able to accept. Clearly, just take some time and care when you're putting the numbers in. I do recall one person last year calling up in a complete panic because they submitted theirs, and I think instead of 25,000 they might have put something like 250,000, or it might even have been another zero onto that, but we were very quickly able to terminate that submission, and they started again. Okay, and then we've got our non-GP partner at the bottom. So again, let's just select whatever tier rate we've got there. So that gives you a total of the estimated pensionable pay for the practice. Now, again, I'm sure that you all know, but what then happens when we've clicked submit on this, the system will automatically calculate and divide the annual pensionable pay by 12, and then it will apply the tier rate that you've selected on a monthly basis to that 1/12 of the income, and that will determine the employee contributions that are taken for your practice for each of the GPs. So divide their pensionable pay by 12, and then it will apply the tier rate that you've selected for that GP. It will also apply the 14.38% to that 1/12 income for the monthly employer contributions. And you'll see when you get your monthly practice statement, you'll see all of your individual GPs listed out. You'll be familiar with that, where you have a section for employee contributions and you have a section for employer contributions. So in terms of actually creating and submitting the estimate form on PCSE Online, then it is just as simple as that. So all we need to do is tick to confirm, and then click submit. We get another chance to confirm that we are happy with the submission, and that's it.
If you have a GP who has a change in salary midway through the year, you can also complete the change of salary form. This is for a salaried GP. If a principal/partner GP has a change of estimated income, it's good practice to submit a revised estimate form. This will ensure the correct pension contributions are being made and reduce the risk of any large adjustments once the GP has submitted their end-of-year forms. To find the salary change form in PCSE Online, you'll first need to log into your PCSE Online account, click on GP Payments, click Pensions, click Salary Change, and then select Salary Change Form. Thank you for watching this video on estimates in PCSE Online. To summarise, estimate forms can be completed at any time in PCSE Online. Keeping your GP's estimated income up to date reduces the risk of large adjustment from your practice when the end-of-year forms are completed. If your GP isn't visible on the estimate form, check the pension joiner form is complete. If you cannot locate your GP on the pension joiner form, the GP employment record may be outdated, may have an outstanding employment change, or PCSE may need to be notified of your GP's SD number. A salary change form can also be completed mid-year if a salaried GP income changes throughout the year. And you can also view previously submitted forms on PCSE Online by selecting the listing screen button. Further details can be found on the PCSE website and on the PCSE YouTube channel.